What's going on, guys? It's LadyB. Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at some incredible hits from ATN.aTTaX and QueeN walkers in their Panamerico Torneo RO16 match. It was a best of 2, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite hits. So stay tuned for this intense matchup and the incredible attacks that came along with it. So we saw one of the most intense credible wars that I've seen for some time with this matchup, ATN.aTTaX going against QueeN walkers in a best of 2. Now the format for this tournament is it's a 30-minute war, so they've got to get all these hits done. They have about 6 minutes to prepare to start their first attack. The attacks tend to come in for each attack that's supposed to come in from either side around the same time, but it lends for a very exciting format. And we saw some incredible defenses in the first round. The second round brought in some big stars. I'm going to show you some of the triples that I thought were phenomenal, including one that I might put a clip in later to showcase to you. But if you want to see the war itself, I'm not going to put it on this video. You're going to have to head over to my VOD over on Twitch to watch the whole thing live and really experience the craziness of this war. So stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit more about these incredible hits. So QueeN walker certainly impressed in this matchup, bringing not only the defense, but definitely bringing some A game and creative attacks, but also showing their ability to multitask within a raid itself. And this was one of the examples coming in from stars. So we're talking about a drag bat, and typically when we see a drag bat combination, we're either talking about a bat bomb or a bat wave. But in this instance, we actually see both, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. So let's take a quick playthrough of this. We'll talk about this and then a couple more hits. But again, if you want to see this crazy war and really experience what it was like to be there, make sure to check out the VOD over on my Twitch. And again, I will link it in the description below. So with stars, we have the use of the drag bat combination, and typically with these style raids, what we see is the heroes working along the outer edge of the base to help keep the dragons funneled and trained inside. So we have the baby dragon that starts it off for the funnel on the 10 o'clock side of the base with the king and queen working together. And typically when you bring your king and queen together, you're using it so you can get maximum value out of that hero path, with the king doing the tanking. And wait till you'll see how much he actually got out of the value of this king-queen combination, because it was much more than I expected. But you get a nice push through of the dragons working across now that the funnel path is created. We've got the stone slammer that comes in place to do the tanking, but because it doesn't make the connection, he drops his bat bomb combination on the scatter shot here, but then he also drops the bat wave along the outer edge, which helps keep the heroes alive moving through this raid. This is an incredible feat because it's not something we see very often. Now, the bats are split up, but they wind up working slightly together. We do see a bit of a split moving along. We do have a freeze that goes down to try and spare some of them, but the RC comes into play, actually working her way through. A couple of bats, unfortunately, get a little scathed by this, but again, look at this ice golem combination here. Ice golem and freeze that comes down to hang up this entire radius and covers up the additional wizard tower. Now the bats have thinned out quite a bit, but we see beautiful push that's spared of the dragons. We do have the bats taking the lead here, still helping to work through. And yes, they do basically die out at this point, but everything that he's done has led to the dragons being able to work their way through, be available for this portion. We also have the king and the queen now that are ready through this portion, and the bats have certainly served their job right. And that's not easy to do when you're working with a single set of bats alone, a single placement of bats, let alone to split them up and keep your focus constantly shifting around. Now, keeping this queen alive and hanging on to that ability paid out in the end, because what we're talking about is a single IT up on this back end. You know you need to hang on to your queen ability for this. We've got the dragon that clears a good portion of the path while the queen remains outside of that single IT radius. It takes on some of the key structures there, including taking on a storage that could have potentially been an issue for time. But look at this, hanging on, till he possibly can do at the last second, forces that QueeN ability, and is able to connect and get that 3-star. So this was a phenomenal hit that came through. And again, I like the versatility of the multitask factor of this, bringing in that combination of the Bat Bomb and the Bat Wave together and keeping the heroes alive to the very end. So let's take a look at another crazy hit that came from QueeN Walkers, and then we're going to look at the piece de resistance, and that was from ATN. So Yuta brought us in with another incredibly planned attack, and I like the way he thought about this one. So when we take a look at this base at face value, we've got a core center here where we've got the Eagle to worry about. We've got the scatter shots kind of surrounding the back end. We've got the Clan Castle in there, and we've got the 2 air sweepers spread apart. So look at how he goes about it. We've got this blimp that sails through with a loon to path to pick up any possible traps, just so it can make a connection here to eliminate that wizard tower and some of the surrounding defenses to help open up the pathing here for the QueeN walk, or QueeN charge portion rather, and also help to funnel it a bit more for what we're going to see with the use of the King and the Royal Champ. And the Royal Champ here is what is pretty phenomenal. I like the positioning of this, but we can't undervalue what the QueeN has done here. So we have the QueeN working along to help take out the Clan Castle troops. We're going to see her work her way in with the double layer wall break to actually take on this single Inferno scattershot chamber. And this QueeN gets epic value because she takes down this entire channel here, but then what we see out of the King and Royal Champion is to take on the opposite chamber along here. But it's the air sweepers that you think, okay, well, this is an easy push coming in behind, but what about this air sweeper here? Because it can easily turn in and cause some pushback and resistance, which you don't want to see, and that's where the Royal Champ comes into play. But the QueeN gets a beautiful double layer entry that pushes her through, helps to navigate some of the pathing, narrow it out, take on the scatter shot, take on some of those Teslas along the way. Take down the Clan Castle. Obviously, we saw that get knocked out in the beginning with the blimp helping to push some of those troops along the outside edge. And then this is where we get to see the King and Royal Champion working through, shaping up to get an easy push into the core of the base, and then a surround from the bottom side. So the King takes the lead here to allow the Royal Champion work to come through, but his patience pays off because he hangs on to this Royal Champion ability until he knows that he has enough of a line of defense connection for the Seeking Shield to take on the air sweeper here, so we don't see any additional push or resistance coming back from the loons as they try and take down the core of the base. So it's important to have that Royal Champ work her way through so we can see that come in. Now we get that sneaky push of the headhunters coming in unsuccessfully, unfortunately, because of the ground bow here, but it's the pups that actually help take out the QueeN, and we get this beautiful surround push of the loons coming in. So we had that initial push that came into the core. We have the bottom push of loons that came in from the 6 o'clock side. And with what the QueeN, the King, and the RC all did together, took down a huge chunk of that defensive line, working around to make a nice easy path for this Lalo portion to work its way through. And the QueeN still survives in the end here, helps take care of the cleanup. This did come down pretty close to time. This is another case where we see keeping that QueeN alive pays off, and this QueeN did a phenomenal job here. But really, the RC for me in this one was key. So beautiful use, and this is something to take in mind about when you are using your Royal Champ ability. When you make your plans of what you want to get, look at the defenses that are around, because you know her connection is going to go for the 4 closest defenses that are in alignment. So that's how you can plan to use your Royal Champion Seeking Shield, and we do see that a lot now with that Zap RC combination, where you use the Zap Quake RC combo, typically a 1/1, 1 lightning spell, 1 Quake combo, or sometimes a 2 lightning spell, 1 Quake combination to get some ample value from it. But we'll talk about more of that in another video when I have a good showing of it. But on to what I think was probably the most incredible hit, and we'll talk a little bit later about why, the attack from ATN.aTTaX. So before we get into it, let's talk about the timestamp that we're on, 2 minutes, 57 seconds. It really came down to the wire again on time. And when we talk about how clutch an attack can be, This attack was the definition of it, and you're going to have to watch the VOD on my Twitch channel to understand how incredible this hit actually was. It really came down to the wire. We did not expect to see this warden do what he was going to do. You hope to see this sort of thing, and it actually did happen, but it was pretty incredible and quite crazy. A lot went wrong in this raid as Lalo was underway, and we'll talk about that as we watch it through, but he still managed to keep calm, cool, and collected, and things worked out in the end. So we're looking at a Zapquake Lalo, which the ATN guys do so very well. This one really coming down to almost the luck of the draw and a super OP warden, but we get that nice connection inside the base of the Zapquake. So the lightning spells a 7-1 combo to take out the clan castle. He does miss out on the air sweeper here, but that's actually not a big deal because it's not too big of a deal. Well, we'll see, because we come through and we actually see a little bit of resistance coming in from the Laloon portion of this. But the king works through to help navigate some pathing, working around. QueeN does not go inside the base to take on the town hall. So this is where we already see things slightly going awry. Ideally, the queen would have worked her way into that opening. The king lined up a nice path to get her access to work in, and he had to adjust this one quite a bit. So you see the RC moves along to cut her way through. We've got the loons taking the lead, the hound taking the lead, moving across that as well. The RC is able to kind of sneak her way in. We have the headhunters to help take on the enemy queen in the base here. Wasn't the RC that was necessarily intended for it, but he also has to be able to worry about that town hall. But he's got the blimp. He had the blimp. He had a little something to work through with it, but he does wind up switching to the stone slammer. So now that that's not down for the count, he's got to wait for that 51% mark for it to open up before he can send in the stone slammer. And this is where we see a bit of a problem. This air sweeper that did not go down, some of the plans didn't go exactly how he had hoped to. We have it pushing resistance, sweeping back a little bit for those loons, which when you're coming into some splash damage with the surrounding wizard towers, eagle combination, and a scatter shot is not ideal. So he sweeps in the stone slammer to take on the town hall. This is really like a Hail Mary to try and ensure that you can get a 2-star and pray that you're going to pick up the 3-star. So he sends it in, but the loons don't make contact with the eagle. The eagle continues to rain down. And of course, we've got the scatter shot that the stone slammer isn't quite in the radius of. So the stone slammer finally does work its way through, but it's still, the scatter shot is still focused on these loons. Nearly wipes out and does wipe out that entire pack, but not before they're able to take down the eagle artillery. And it gives just enough power for these loons to work in, take down that scatter shot. You have the dragon to help work through, but at this point you're looking at it and you're saying it's just the warden left. This dragon's getting picked off by the air defense. The warden's trying to work through. We've got the lead of the minions and the pups holding on. That last loon goes down. We're at 37 seconds and there's only so much that they can do. And because we're talking about an air warden, of course, this air defense is going to come in and be problematic for the warden. Now he's just a tad bit over half health. The minions and the pups come in clutch to at least take the lead for him. And we've got one smart warden because he comes in, he goes for the air defense instead of going for the elixir drill. So this way he just negates that as damage point. And luckily, just in line of the AT, and it is just enough to get that 3-star through. So this is the epitome of a clutch hit when you need it. Boom, coming in strong despite a lot going wrong in his raid here. So really nice, calm, cool, and collected. And this is really where you get to see what the difference is of these pro players and how they can handle adjustments on the fly and still make a solid plan that goes wrong 3-star. So those were 3 of my favorite hits from this best of 2 matchup from ATN.aTTaX against QueeN Walkers. Now, I don't want to spoil for you, those of you who might want to go back and watch the VOD over on Twitch. So if you want to be surprised, then don't watch after this point, because what I'm going to do is leave you, for those viewers who just want to see the excitement of something that I'm talking about, I'm going to put it at the tail end of this video. So if you want to be surprised, stop here, don't watch anymore. But if you want to see the hype that I'm talking about, the only way that you can actually experience those is in a live stream. And I'm going to put that in here at the tail end to show you how incredible this war actually was. But I'll also leave the link there so you can take a look at both of the two matches in the VOD over on my Twitch channel. So stay tuned for more incredible replays, incredible wars to come, and incredible strategy guides. And make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you know when I drop these videos. And if you want to follow me over on social media, great way to find out about when my live streams are, or you can join my Discord server where you can also get some free bases from Blueprint Base Building. And I've been using them for my CWL Town Hall 11 team, and I gotta say, they've been holding phenomenally strong. So kudos to the guys, the base builders over in Blueprint Base Building. And that's it for now. Until next time, this is LadyB. I'll catch you guys later. We could see the percent needed, but we need to see the triple come through. Hold up. It's not an ATN win, because remember, they were 1 star down. They need to tie up, and they need to get the percent. So we're gonna have to add this up. Just a Mondi, thank you for the follow. So can Boom lead his team to victory. What was that? It hasn't come through yet. Percent is still coming in. 87%. I think that's where they need to be. A triple will put them ahead on percentage, 97.2%, which will give them the lead that they need, because they'll be up on percent by enough, and they'll tie on the star count. Oh, we still have the eagle up, we have the scatter shot up, and we don't have a freeze, and the stone slammer is not taking on the impact. Warden working with the pups on the outskirts. Loons drop out, but do they have enough to get it done? Not with the AD in play. Dragon comes through. Could this be his saving grace to pick up the 3-star and lead ATN.aTTaX into victory in the Pan American League to move on to round of 8? It's coming down to the wire. We've got the pups and minions leading the path for the Warden, but that air defense is going to slowly ravage through everything, and we have a full health AT on the back end here. Warden needs to step up to the plate and get it done, but he can't do it while the minions and pups are focusing on everything else. Or yes, he can. He knocks down the AD. Are we going to have a clutch Warden for the win? Go for the Archer Tower first. Take it on, knock it out. It's a race to the health of the Warden, to the AT Tower, and my goodness, he just gets it done. And we see ATN.aTTaX come through with the victory of victories. They get the star lead in this match, which ties them up on overall star count, and they get the percent needed to get the win. If you ever wanted to see a clutch hit, that was it. Boom, coming in like a boss. Wow. Please, someone, give that Warden a hug.
Yeah.